Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe. It was a wild day yesterday. It was a wild day yesterday, right? NBA trade deadline happened. Yes, that actually happened. And in that NBA trade deadline, we saw that the Lakers made no moves. We also saw that the Houston Rockets, not the Houston Rockets, see, look how my head's working. The Philadelphia 76ers and the New Jersey Nets made big moves. Or should I say, James Harden made moves. Because this is what we've come to expect from James Harden. You know what James Harden is? James Harden is that person that when they don't get their way, they just screw everything up until you get rid of them. That's James Harden. For better or for worse, right? I came on here a few weeks ago, I think it was, and I talked about the fact that for as much skill as James Harden has, for as fantastic as of a basketball player that James Harden is, he's never really had to shoulder the load. He's never had to be the one to take the firing range when things didn't go right. He's never been underneath the scrutiny that Russell Westbrook has. He's never been under the scrutiny that Kevin Durant has. And why? Because he went to Houston, where he was the undoubted guy, and nobody really thought Houston had a chance to win a championship. So they essentially excused all of his bad play in the playoffs. All the times that he flamed out, he didn't get it done. They excused all of them. They made excuses for him. Guess what? That's the same thing we do to that person that is supremely talented, and we want them to reach their full potential, but we don't hold them accountable. See, as a teacher, I talk about this all the time. As a coach, I talk about it all the time. I was just having a conversation with a really good friend of mine, Tom Nelson, head coach at Bremer and May up in Massachusetts, in Boston area. Congratulations to his team, by the way. They won last night, and he is heading towards a milestone. One day I'm going to come on here, and I'm going to flex for my homeboy. I'm going to come on here, and I'm going to flex for him, because a lot of times he doesn't flex. He just lets it breathe. But if you look around college basketball, it's hard to look at college basketball and not see his imprint. So shout out to him. But we were just talking about this yesterday about a young man, not one of his kids or one of my kids, but another young man that we know that's in the circuit. And he said some really awful things to somebody, and it caused a lot of hoopla. And, I was like, well, this is what happens when you have a supremely talented player, but you never check them. You never make them, humble themselves because they're being out of line. You just continue to promote the talent, but you don't promote the person. That's James Harden. Continually, we've promoted the talent, meanwhile excusing the fact that he's been out of shape a lot of times, that he has whined and cried and sabotaged his way out of Houston. Then he whined and cried and sabotaged his way out of New Jersey, playing alongside Kevin Durant. And why? Because he had to do it by himself right now. Because Kyrie decided that he wasn't going to play. And then Kevin got hurt. And now everybody's looking at me and blaming me. And I don't want to be blamed. So I need to go and get behind somebody else's shadow so that no longer do I have to be blamed. Don't believe me? Oh, you think I'm just capping? You think this is cap? Go look. When was the time that James Harden put something on himself? I'll wait. When did he say, hey, this is on me, man, I got to be better? I'll wait. Because it hasn't happened. That's why. And it's not going to happen. People like that don't all of a sudden change their spots. They don't all of a sudden start to do the right thing, or not even the right thing, because that's the wrong word. They don't all of a sudden decide that they're going to be responsible for things that they've never been responsible for in the past. It's unfortunate, but it's true, right? It's unfortunate, but it's true. And so now we're left with this trade where Harden goes to Philadelphia to stand behind Joel Embiid. Does it make Philadelphia better? Yes, of course it makes Philadelphia better. If only for the fact that Philadelphia wasn't getting anything out of Ben Simmons. So if I'm not getting anything out of Ben Simmons, and now I get something out of James Harden, which I will, because he's a talent, because he's a supreme talent. Of course, I'm going to get something out of James Harden. So if I'm getting something out of James Harden, of course it's going to make me better. Is that enough to win a championship? I don't know. Funnier things have happened in this league, and I think there's more parity now than there's more parity now than it's ever been in the league. I don't think we have any super teams out there, especially with Harden moving away from the Nets, unless the Nets get Ben Simmons to come in and essentially be what he should have always been, which is a power forward. A power forward with plus handles, decision making, and on a team like that, he might have success. But here's the thing, right? He doesn't fit into that starting lineup. Why? Because he can't play off the ball. So if you can't play off the ball, how do you fit into that lineup? Because when Kyrie's playing, Kyrie's going to have the ball. When Durant's playing, Durant's going to have the ball. So if you don't play well off the ball, you can't play with either one of those guys for long stretches of time, because Kevin Durant's willing to play off the ball. He's willing to do it. But if you don't draw anybody to you because you don't have any threat of shooting it, then how does that become something that Kevin Durant can take advantage of? That's not. Kevin Durant needs you to be a threat. He needs you to be somebody that he can rely on to knock down a couple buckets. You don't have to be lights out, but you got to knock down a couple of buckets to draw people to you, so that then Kevin Durant can be the off-ball player that you want him to be, so that you can handle the ball. If that doesn't happen, that's not going to work. So both of these things are flawed, right? Here's why the Nets are in a better position without Harden than they were with Harden. Because when everybody's healthy, now without Harden there, you could put another defender. You could put somebody that plays well off the ball. So essentially, you can replace Harden with a 3-and-D guy, right? Or you replace Harden with Seth Curry, who's perfectly okay with playing off the ball, and now he's going to get wide open threes coming from Kyrie and coming from Kevin Durant. Sign me up. Sign me up. And when you look at the other assets that the Nets got back, those 2 first-round picks, we don't know what those 2 first-round picks are going to be, but here's what we know. The Nets can't really afford to go out and get other high-priced talent, even though now they're in a better, more flexible situation than they were, because they got rid of James Harden's 40-something million. But now they can infuse that team that has veterans on it with that young talent coming from those first-round picks. So they're handling their present without mortgaging their future. In fact, they've actually supplemented their future. This is a win for the Nets. It's a win for Philadelphia because Harden picked up his option for next year. So if nothing else, they know they have him this year, they have him next year, and if things go sideways, they have a really good bargaining trip to trade away and get other assets. But ladies and gentlemen, this James Harden, I don't ever want to hear this James Harden noise again. Miss me with the James Harden stuff. James Harden is not Carmelo Anthony. James Harden is a really good basketball player, but he's a basketball player that has never thought about anybody else but himself. That's why he wanted out of Oklahoma City. That's why he wanted out of Houston. That's why he wanted out of New Jersey. It was selfish. Remember, in Houston, he's the reason why all of those people that they brought in never worked out. He's the reason why they kept having so many lineup changes. It was James Harden. And all the while we blamed everybody else instead of blaming the person that we should have blamed, James Harden. And so now everybody, hopefully everybody knows, everybody sees it. This isn't a mystery anymore. This isn't a mystery. We get what's going on now. We see it. We understand it. And then there's the Lakers. The Lakers made 0 moves. And today, last night and today, they have been getting murdered in the media. They've been getting killed. Oh my gosh, I can't believe the Lakers didn't make a move. Oh my gosh, Russell Westbrook this, and I thought they would do that, and I thought they would do. Listen, I respect what the Lakers did. I respect what the Lakers did, and this is why I'm going to tell you. Because at some point, you just have to trust. You have to trust in the thing that you put together and see it through for a full season. Remember, this team has not had an opportunity to play together for a long period of time. Everybody is moving and adjusting in their roles. You know what? If Russell Westbrook has to play a different role on this team, then who cares? As long as the outcome is winning, Russell Wilson will be cool with it. See, the misconception about Russell Wilson is that Russell Westbrook, excuse me. The misconception about Russell Westbrook is that he's selfish. But that can't be further from the truth. Russell Westbrook wants to win. Period. So everything that Russell Westbrook does is him trying to win. Why is it all of a sudden an issue that Russell Westbrook can't shoot threes? Russell Westbrook has never been able to shoot threes on a consistent basis. Why are we showing highlights of layups where they go in and out the rim, making it seem as if somehow Russ has lost it? I just watched a highlight the other day of him blow by somebody and dunk on a big man. That's Russell Westbrook. Last time I checked, he's still averaging 18 points a game, damn near double-digit assists, damn near double-digit rebounds. And I don't know why he's the only person in the NBA that people claim has meaningless stats. Yet, we have Andrew Wiggins in the All-Star game. We have Karl Anthony Towns in the All-Star game. All of these cats around here, as the third fiddle, fourth fiddle on a team or on teams that are trash, not winning anything, and they're making all-star games. And yet you people keep telling me about Russell Westbrook's stats being fake. For years, Kevin Love in Minnesota put up monster numbers, and everybody told us he was a star. And then he went to Cleveland and was the third fiddle, and sometimes wasn't even the third fiddle. He was reduced to being a corner three-point shooter. Gone were the 17 and 18 rebound days. Gone were the 26-point, 32-point outings. Gone were the 8-9 assist games. Why? Because he was playing with real players. Because he was playing in high-pressure situations. But nobody ever said those stats were hollow except for me. Russell Westbrook wants to win games. And so if winning games is number one, Russell Westbrook is with it. Also, you have to consider there's so many other people out there that are going to fit what the Lakers need. The Lakers' needs are not another star. The Lakers' needs are not enough. The Lakers need 3-and-D guys. With Westbrook, with LeBron, with AD, you need to surround those dudes with 3-and-D guys. Guess what? There are going to be 3-and-D guys hanging around waiting to get picked up before the playoff run. Trust me. Why mortgage more of your future? They've already mortgaged so much. Why mortgage more? You have to be saying to yourself, LeBron can't keep doing this forever. You have to look at the realization that Anthony Davis is probably going to get hurt and miss a significant amount of games every single year. You know that Russell Westbrook is not long-term. Why give away assets? Why give away THT? Why give him away? That might be the guy that you need. He's still growing. He's still young. Everybody is now slamming the Lakers for getting rid of the young talent that they got rid of in order to be in the place they're in now. So now you want them to give away more young talent to bring in some rentals and then have a brand new team next year? What sense does that make? Stand pat, get in the lab, make some adjustments. After the All-Star break, come out, go on a run, get yourself securely into the playoffs, and home field advantage is not going to matter. Because at the end of the day, you got LeBron, you got AD, you got a chance. If you've got those two bullets in the gun, you can shoot at anybody. Sometimes it's better to not make a move. Congratulations to all the teams that did. By the way, congratulations to Philly. I hope it works out for you. Congratulations to the Nets. I hope it works out for them. Hopefully, now Ben Simmons will start playing basketball again. I want to see how long it is before Ben Simmons is suited up in a game. Because if it's so, I hope Philadelphia sues him. I really and truly hope that if Ben Simmons suits up for a game with Brooklyn this year, that Philadelphia files a lawsuit. Because you can't be out here claiming you have mental health issues, using it, weaponizing that, stealing money, and then going over to the Nets as if you never had anything wrong with you. The way in which he played this is very James Harden-like. That's why the trade is so interesting. And it'll be interesting to watch. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome and thank you for watching Talk Spicy. Listen to Talk Spicy. I can't even talk right now. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on all them channels, you know what to do. Until Monday, peace. Enjoy the Super Bowl.